students, hope you are safe. Welcome to science class. I am Yogita Miss, your science teacher. Today we are starting online classes of 6th standard. Look at the cover page of general science textbook. It is so meaningful. It shows the content of the book. Student, first upon, before we start our class, when you all watching videos, you will pick your pen, pencil as usual in my class notebook. Note down all questions, definitions, answers in your 200 pages long notebook, which I will give in online class. Is it clear? Now in this textbook there are all 16 lessons. Look at the contents of the textbook. There are 16 lessons. So start from lesson number 1. That is the natural resources, air, water and land. Look at in the picture 1.1. Spheres of the earth. The section of the spheres of the earth is given. Lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere you seen in the picture. Now observe the picture alongside and answer the question. Where do we see the birds? We see the birds in the sky. Answer is in the sky. Second question, where is cow grazing? Answer is on the land. Third one, locate the trees and the road. The trees and road on the land. Where does the river come from? How does it flow? River come from the mountains and it is flow on the ground. Where is the aeroplane? Question number 5. Answer is in the sky. Sixth question, where are the fish seen? Fish are seen in the water. 7th question, on what is the sailboat floating? The sailboat floating on the water. They are the simple answers we know. Now, natural resources. Everybody know that there are the 3 types of natural resources: air, water and land, which we are seen in our surrounding. You can see that some things in the picture in water, some on land and some in the sky, that is in the air. That's all things on the earth are associated with air, water and land. Air, water and land are called the Earth's atmosphere. Everybody tick out and on that is this air, water and land called the Earth's atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere respectively. Moreover, different living things occupy these 3 spheres of the earth. These living things and the parts of lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere which they occupy are together called the biosphere. Write down the definition of the biosphere. That is, what is the biosphere? The definition is from, I highlight all these definition from, these living things to biosphere. These spheres have formed on the earth naturally. We have learned all this in the previous standard, how the spheres are formed, the earths are formed naturally. That is, there are the pictures of earth are given, and air, water and land are the factors important for sustaining the living world on the earth, and for fulfilling their basic need they are called as the natural resources. These definition you have also note down in your notebook. Next, the atmosphere is a layer of air that surrounds the earth. The surface of the earth comprises water and land, that is hydrosphere and the lithosphere. Of these, the hydrosphere occupies a much larger part than the lithosphere. Look at in the picture 1.2. That is the water. The hydrosphere occupies the much part of our sphere. That is our earth. Of these, the hydrosphere occupies a much larger part than the lithosphere. The proportion of the land and water on the earth's surface, Earth's surface is shown in the diagram. Land occupies 29%, water occupies 71%. We also look upon these natural components in solid, liquid, and gaseous form as resources. In other words, we use them to fulfill our requirement. Let us now study all these three components in detail. Now, everybody turn the page and come to on the page number 2. Can you recall what are the 5 layers of the atmosphere? These are we have already learned in the 5th standard. That is, there are the 5 layers of the atmosphere. Which are they? That is, they are the troposphere, yes, troposphere, then mesosphere, stratosphere, ionosphere, and the one is the atmosphere. They are the 5 parts of the layers of atmosphere, which again I repeated: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere. Last one is the exosphere. Now the first, one by one, we discuss about the 3 components of air, water, and solid. The first one is the air. The air in the atmosphere and the earth contain nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, 6 inert gases: nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, water vapor, and dust particle. Sometimes this question is asked in the exam. Will ask in the exam, that is the how many gases are in the air. That is, there are nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, 6 inert gases, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, water vapor, and dust particle. That one is the answer. The troposphere contains about 80% of total mass of gases in the air, while this proportion is about 19% in the stratosphere. Further, in the mesosphere and ionosphere, the proportion of the mass of gases goes on decreasing. Gases are not found in the exosphere and beyond. The exosphere is the last sphere of our atmosphere, and beyond there is no gases. You can see that air is a mixture of several gases and is a chief constituent of the Earth's atmosphere. Besides these gases, air also contains water vapor and dust particles. The amount of the gases in the air is the greatest near the surface and decrease as you go higher and higher from the surface. As you go from higher and higher to the surface, how this we can feel, that is when we go, when we climb the mountains, we feel the decrease of oxygen. We feel a very difficulty in breathing. That one, that is the, as we go higher and higher, the gases in the air are become less. The air becomes rarer at higher altitudes. Look at in the diagrams, the proportion of concentration of air and some of their uses are given here. Nitrogen is 78%. You have to draw this diagram 1.3 in your notebook. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, argon 0.9%, other constituents of air are 0.07%, carbon dioxide is 0.03%. Now it is increased also. When the book is published, it is written that carbon dioxide 0.03. Now it will be increased 0.035, whatever. There's some uses of air. Here the big orange chart is given. You have to draw as it is in your notebook. Nitrogen, how these gases are helpful for us, uses for us, that is nitrogen helps living things to build the necessary proteins. It is useful in the production of ammonia and in airtight packaging of foodstuff. Airtight packaging, that is when you purchase the chips, Balaji chips, Balaji Kurkures, you found that it is full of airtight. It is full of airtight because there is a nitrogen gas is filled in this packaging of foodstuff. For the preservation of these food materials, also this nitrogen helps for the plants to grow and to build their proteins. Next one is the oxygen, necessary for respiration in living things and for combustion. Respiration, everybody know that we have inhale oxygen, that is the respiration, and for combustion, that is for burning. Carbon dioxide, plants use it for producing their food, use in fire extinguisher for burn out the fire, gushes out the fire. The carbon dioxide is used. When you many times you observe the gas cylinders are fire extinguisher cylinders are in the schools, in the cinema halls, in the public places. That is, there is the carbon dioxide to gushes out the fire. Then argon, used in electric bulbs. Helium, used for obtaining low temperature and also for generating lift in airships. Neon, used in decorative lights and for street lighting. Then krypton, used in fluorescent tubes. Neon, used in flash photography. Some always remember you have to give one. There is the living world on the earth sustained due to the balance between the various gases and other constituents of air. The atmosphere is a very important filter. It allows the light and heat of the sun to reach the earth, which is necessary for life, but it prevents harmful elements from reaching the earth. It is in the atmosphere that fog, clouds, snow and rain are produced. These atmosphere, this layer covering are very useful for our earth. It is just like an umbrella for our earth, which protects us from rain, excessive heat and many other ultraviolet rays also. It is a protective umbrella of our earth. Now turn the page number 3. Observe and discuss. What is similarity in the 3 pictures below? Look at students. What is the similarity in 3 pictures? That is, there is a pollution of air. Yes, there is air pollution. All the above pictures show large scale emission of smoke through different agencies. The smoke is emitted from the different agencies. The first picture is of factories. Second one is the vehicles. Third one is a forest fire. This smoke directly mixes with the atmosphere, disturbing the balance between the constituents of air. This is called as a air pollution. Sometimes the question is there, that is, what is air pollution? That is till air pollution. From this smoke to air pollution, you have to write down what is air pollution. The answer is, this smoke directly mixes with the atmosphere, disturbing the balance between the constituents of air. This is called as air pollution. Harmful gases are given out through combustion of fuels in vehicles and in big industries, and also through incomplete combustion of fuel like wood and coal. That is, when you burn, sometimes you burn wood, coal, and sometimes if there is not sufficient oxygen, then there is a smoke coming out from it. That one is a combustion. As a result, air pollution is increasing day by day. Then how these pollution give harmful effects on our health? Harmful substances released in air through combustion of fuels: nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide and soot. The soot is a small carbon particles. Then what is the ozone layer? The protective shell. There is a layer of ozone, that is the gas O3, ozone gas, in the lower part of stratosphere. Ozone gas is not directly used for the survival of living things. Yet it is very important for living things to have this layer of ozone at a high altitude around us. This ozone layer is around our earth. The ultraviolet rays coming from the sun are very harmful for living things. The ozone gas absorbs these rays. As a result, life on earth is protected. It only allows the ultraviolet rays to the earth which are useful for us, and rest of the ultraviolet rays it absorbs and reflect in the space. The ozone layer is destroyed if chemical gases like carbon tetrachloride or the chlorofluorocarbons used in air conditioners and refrigerators mix with the air. This ozone layer destroyed. That's why it is heard that there is a hole in the ozone layer because of the carbon emission, carbon pollution. This carbon tetrachloride and chlorofluorocarbon used in air conditioners, our air conditioner we use in our houses, refrigerator we use in houses, from these gases are released in the air and mix in the air, and they form a air pollution. To prevent this, 16th September is celebrated as the Ozone Protection Day all over the world to make everyone aware of the importance of ozone. Do you know? In metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Pune, or Nagpur, boards are displayed at places of heavy traffic to show the proportion of the various constituents of the air at that place. Due to these boards, we can see the amount of harmful elements in the air. Sometimes, when you are traveling from in the metropolitan cities, you have seen this type of board where the pollution are seen on the board, reflecting on this board. That's why in the last year, when Delhi is suffering from the air pollution, the AAP Sarkar are giving the even odd rule for the vehicles to control the air pollution. Use your brain power. What would have happened if there were no air on the earth? Simple question, student. That if there is no air, then there is no survival of living things, because without air we can't survive, and if we can't survive, then we can't release the carbon dioxide, and the plants cannot make their own food, and that's why the whole world is destroyed. Next lecture we continue in the next phase. Bye.